Namaste. Today we are continuing our lecture on Servlet technology. Previously we have seen the theory concepts of Servlet technology and further we have seen the ways of creating Servlet technology. Right? Here we will start with our example, means how to implement the Servlet class by extending the HTTP class. Right? Let us see one example in NetBeans. For creating servlets, we have to create web application. To create web application in NetBeans, click on File menu, then select New Project. And from Categories, select Java Web. And from Project, select the web application. Then click on Next button. And here you can give the name of the web application. Let's say I am giving the name My Web App. After giving the name, click on the Next button. And then you can select the local server from here. I have only one server, Glassfish server here. Next, you can select any of the framework from this, but I am using only Servlet, so no need to select from this. Then finish. So, web application is created. Let's see the directory structure of this web application, My Web App. Web pages, you can see source packages, right? Then the libraries. In web pages, you can store the HTML pages and JSP pages, right? And the source package is for storing the classes. I am creating one servlet by right clicking on default package, right? Right click on that. Then select the new, then servlet, right? Then give the name of the servlet. Let's say new servlet, but I am changing the name from new servlet to my servlet, right? You can keep as it is also. After giving the name, then next. Then select the checkbox add information to web.xml, right? Then give the servlet name, right? You can keep as it is, but for differentiating you can change. I am giving the first servlet. Same in URL pattern, you can also keep as it is and you can change also. I am changing the name of the URL pattern also and I am giving the name is first, right? Then click on the finish button. Here my servlet is created. Now I am creating all these extra comments which is unnecessary so that the code will be easier to understand, right? Because of these comments, length of code is larger. If I delete all these comments, we can see the clear all entire code, right? So you can see the code of the servlet. You can see the different methods, process request, right? Then you will see the other method, that is do get, right? Then the other method is do post. At the end you can see the method get servlet info. All these methods are of HTTP servlet, right? Now I have cleared all the comments and this servlet is created by default. I have not created, and this is the method process request. It is the method of my servlet class, right? Not the HTTP servlet, right? Before this code you can see the different packages which are imported, right? All the packages are imported because we are using these classes in our code, right? You can see the entire code, right? You can see the methods do get, do post, get servlet info. All these methods are overridden, right? And these methods are of HTTP servlet class, right? And we are overriding this method here, but process request method is not overridden. Let's see the entry of this servlet into the web.xml. Click on the web.xml file. You can see the entry of the servlet, but at the root level you can see the element web app, right? And at the ending you can see the closing web app element, right? In between you can see the element Servlet, right? In Servlet you can see the Servlet name and class, right? Servlet name and class is given. Then the Servlet mapping. In Servlet mapping you can see the Servlet name and URL pattern, right? Then you can see the other session config is given, which will not be used in our code. So I am eliminating this code. This thing is created because this web.xml is created automatically when I have created Servlet first time, right? If you create by your own, no need to write this session config. It can be written when it is necessary. Right now only Servlet and Servlet mapping elements are required, right? So this is the Servlet element, right? And this is the Servlet mapping element through which the request is mapped into the Servlet. Let's see the code, right? My servlet.java, and let's run this code. Let us see what will be the output. When you compile the first time, it needs some time because it will start the server. That's why. So you can see the output in browser, right? It is a web application, so you can see the output of this Servlet into the browser, right? Let's come back to our code, right? So I am closing this window so you can see the code, right? This was the code was automatically created by NetBeans. Now I will create my code on, right? I have one Servlet in web application which is created by me, right? That is available in source packages. Click on the source packages. Then in default package, I have one Servlet named first Servlet, right? I am opening this. Here you can see the Servlet, right, which is created by me, not created by NetBeans automatically, right? You can see the different packages here, java.io, then javax.servlet, right, and javax.servlet.http, right? All these packages are used for importing the classes. You can see that we have used the different classes here: Servlet exception, HTTP servlets, HTTP servlet request, HTTP servlet response. You can see all these packages are imported because we are using all these classes, right? So let's see how the servlet is created. First, the class is extends HTTP servlet. For creating servlet, we have to add this class name extends HTTP servlet, right? Then I have taken the method of the HTTP servlet, right? This service method is overridden method of HTTP servlet. So I am adding that annotation. For adding annotation, click the Alt enter, then you can add the annotation, right? So this shows the method is overridden, right? So another method is doGet and the doPost. Both these methods are overridden, right? Let's see the first method, protected void service, right? You can see the two parameters, HTTP servlet request and HTTP servlet response, right? These two parameters are passed when request is come into the servlet, right? Then this method throws two exception, servlet exception and IO exception. Then the next line is response.setContentType text/html, right? Because our response is in HTML form, right? That's why we have to set the content type into a HTML. Then for writing the response, I have to create the object of printWriter class, right? It is used for writing the content into the output string. Then you can see the entire content is in HTML, which is written in out.println, right? System.out.println is used for console and out.println is used for writing the output on the browser. And after the creating form, right, in the form I have created enter your name, and I have taken the tag input type equal to text, right, and name equal to n. Then I am fetching that data from name equal to request dot get parameter in the bracket n. So in name variable I will get the data which will be entered into the text box whose name is n, right? Then I am printing this data, right? And from the do get method I am calling the service method, and same thing I am doing from the do post, right? Whenever any method is called, then service method is called automatically from these two methods. At a time only one method will be called, either do post or do get, but service method is called every time whenever any request comes, right? So see the entry of this servlet into the web XML file. Let's search our entry from the web.xml file. There are lots of other servlets are included in my web.xml file also. Let's search out this servlet. Our servlet name is first servlet. So let us search this servlet, right? This servlet is not available here, right? So search in the next row, right? This is the my servlet, right? Then let us see the another entry for the first servlet, right? So here I am getting the entry of the first servlet. There are so many servlets, so you can see the different servlets and URL mapping here, right? Right? Here I have the entry, right? The servlet name first servlet, and the servlet class is first servlet, right? You can see the entry, element is servlet, servlet name is first servlet, and servlet class is first servlet, right? We have found the entry. Now we will find the entry of the URL mapping, right? The URL mapping entry is the servlet name is first servlet and the URL pattern is first servlet. It means that the request with the URL pattern first servlet will be go into the class first servlet, right? Now let us run this code, right? Right click and run file. Then also you can click the shift F6. Okay, so the output is here. This will take a time to start the server. Here I am entering the name, right? For example, Surya, right? After enter, press the enter, then the name will be displayed, right? Okay, this is the form, and Surya is printed because of the request dot parameter, right? Now for example, in form I am adding one line, that is the button. Instead of pressing enter, there will be a button of submit on which I will click and then the name will be displayed. I am running this code again, right? You can see the difference. There will be a button instead of pressing enter. I will type again the name Surya, right, and pressing on the button. Then the name will be displayed here, and this name Surya will be displayed because of the request dot get parameter method. So this is the way how we can create the servlet using NetBeans. So in today's lecture we have seen how we can implement servlets in NetBeans, right? We have seen how servlets are created and executed. In next lecture we will implement JDBC in servlet. We will see how we can include all the JDBC connection steps into a servlet. Thank you.